Hey YouTube, Robert Storm here. This week I've been dealing with a couple people that reminded me of this ironic view that Christians have that America is attacking them or targeting them. I had one man say to me that Christians are under attack in America and we're under persecution. And he was even going so far as to say that military is having their Bibles taken away by the government, which I assured him was a lie. And there are seemingly a bunch of people who have this misconception about oppression against Christianity in America. And a funny thing is, there is a supermajority of Christians within the U.S. That is the predominant religion or faith, as you would have it, either way, in America. More people claim to be Christian than atheists or Muslims or what have you, but apparently Christians are targeted by the government. And when you look at the rest of the world, yes, there are a lot of Christian oppressions in the rest of the world, third world countries, etc. But when you look at America and you think these people actually believe that they're being targeted specifically by the government, it does not add up. When you look at the facts, it doesn't add up. But there is a martyrdom syndrome in American Christians. There's a persecution mentality that I think is very evidenced here. And honestly, in my own opinion, it tends to be an excuse on the part of the Christians as to why they're not living the victorious Christian life, or as to why they're not succeeding as fully as they could otherwise. They blame it on the devil, they blame it on the government persecuting them, things like that. And it's really just a way of pointing fingers and, uh, giving names and blaming others, basically. Blaming others for your own problems, in a sense. And I know some people don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that they and those around them are responsible for their own life. But that's the truth. You and the people around you are more responsible than the government interfering in your life. They really are excuses, even if you don't say it's the government. If you say it's, Ben, who was working at the store the other day and he pissed you off. Well, he interrupted your life. How awful of him. It's just another excuse. It's another excuse on why we don't succeed as Christians, on why we are not at the top of our game or whatever. There's this oppression that's over us, and it's just all around us. Can't you feel this oppression on Christians? It's kind of funny, but I think it's about fucking time that we address the issue as it stands, and that is, it's a load of horseshit. There's no oppression in America. The military is not taking Bibles away or religious texts. You're allowed in the military to have one religious text with you in boot camp. You're allowed multiple copies and etc. when you're out and about. Nobody's confiscating them in any, unless it's for a very temporary time, like you can't have it in this certain situation, mission critical stuff. But nobody's like going around collecting Bibles from Christian soldiers and saying you can't read this, you can't have this. The only amount of truth to this oppression in the military ranks is that you're not allowed to say Jesus publicly in a public military-wide prayer. Are you allowed to say it with your Christian buddies in the military? Yes, of course. But since there are other religious faiths and doctrines within the military, you can use the word God, and you can use Lord and Master and things like that. But the people who are the ministers to the military, they are asked to not use the name Jesus or Allah or other names like that that are religion or faith specific. Is this an attack on Christianity? No. It's actually a Christian stance that says we accept faiths and religions of all types, and we're going to do our best not to piss you off. It's Christians saying, you know what? We're not going to piss off the Muslims by saying the name Jesus. And we'd expect that they're not going to piss us off by saying the name Allah. It's respect for each person's faith. That's what it is. That's what it amounts to. And when you look at it that way, you realize that this whole concept that the military is, stealing Bibles away from Christian soldiers, or that that American Christians are under heavy persecution or targeting by the government, it's really you really dig through all the bullshit and you recognize it as a lie. Yes, government can overstep their bounds. There are law enforcement teams that overstep their bounds. They arrest people and things go haywire, a public nuisance kind of thing. But is that really a religious persecution or a faith-based persecution? No, it's not. It's not an attack on Christians. It's basically, okay, you're making too much racket. You're getting on some citizens' nerves. We're dealing with this. And you're probably going to be let go if something like that happens within a day or two. No problem. It's not like it's a Christian persecution thing. But a lot of supposed conservative news articles will put it that way. They'll put that spin on it, that Christians are being harassed and terrorized in America. And I just want to point out that this is a load of horse hockey, and you can't accept that mentality that the reason that you don't live the Christian life successfully is because the government has it out for you. I have a relative. This relative is very convinced that, I don't think he has followed even the NSA watching on the computers. I don't think he's even that up to date with current goings on in the world. But he is convinced that the government is watching him through his late 90s era refrigerator. The government's spying on him through his 90s refrigerator. So what does he do? He cuts the cord. Cut the cord so that the government doesn't have access. He busts some TVs and things like that. This guy, he will pray the evil out of a movie that he's watching. We were watching Frozen the other day, and this guy literally stops, he closes his eyes, and he goes like this. And he just starts praying that supposedly the evil will remove itself from the equation, from the movie. And we finished the movie, Frozen, and he turns to me and he says, "Can we put that back on? I didn't see the end." You didn't see the end? We had it playing on the TV the whole time. But he is one of these people who has allowed this religious persecution concept to take over his whole entire thinking. And it's not just him. This happens all across America, among American Christians. There are people who literally think the government has it out for them strictly because they're Christian. And there's a lot more I could delve into, but I won't take the time at this moment. But I did want to point out that this religious persecution or persecution of Christianity in America is really a myth. It's really a fabricated lie that has somehow, by hearsay, mostly hearsay, spread through the church like wildfire. And people love that stuff. They love the concept that the reason you individually can't succeed is because the government has it out for you. But with Christ you can prevail. But that's their excuse for why they don't succeed as Christians, is because somebody else has it out for them and is targeting them. And I just want to point out how much bullshit that is. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to make more in the future. Robert Storm out.